welcome to OMG Thrift. So this is the first stop, and this makes me feel very, I would love this to be a real laptop. Like, that's honestly how it makes me feel. Obviously from the early 2000s, like a learning book type of thing, but it looks like a laptop. I thought it was so cute. And this doll was missing out of the box. I am so sad. I was really hoping it was like the Frankenstein doll in there. I was like, no. And this beast was, in my opinion, overpriced because he was really marked up. But yeah, OMG Thrift is very much hit or miss for me. Like, their prices sometimes are great, and then sometimes they're like recently have gone way, way up. I think into kind of almost to compete with Goodwill, because Goodwill prices have gone up, and OMG Thrift is a little bit more of an independent store, so they tend to have a lot of baby dolls, especially in this one rack that they've been adding here now for the past like 2 or 3 months, but they tend to be kind of expensive. Like, these bag dolls are like $8, and like this one did interest me because I have no idea who she is. So please let me know in the comments. I tried researching. I don't even know if that's her right outfit. But besides that, like, a lot of the bags are like $8. And yeah, you do get like 4 dolls in there, but some were fashionistas. I was surprised to see Encanto dolls in there though, because they are fairly new, but there was one. And then this doll, which kind of made me go, Hamilton, anyone? Is it Hamilton? I don't know who he is, but he was fully dressed though, had all, even down to his shoes. But yeah, so OMG Thrift, like I said, hit or miss for me, but this trip was just, I decided to walk through and didn't find anything that interested me at all. What a surprise, right? Who remembers these houses that you had to build? I think they were big in the 80s and 90s. They had 2 of those there. So decided to go to Goodwill, and not a ton of dolls, but they did have some leftover Christmas stuff, and they weren't half off. So obviously it was a hard pass for me because I have found these dolls before for like $10, and they wanted $20 for the holiday Barbies. And this particular Goodwill tends to be decent for dolls. But yeah, like I said, Goodwill's just gone really way up on their prices. And inflation, I get it, but it's just kind of hard when you see stuff like this, for example, where I do have the regular costume ball Barbie, and I get it, it's old, but they wanted $25, and the box is pretty beat up. I did like it just because I do have the Barbie version of this one, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave him for $25. I feel like that's way overpriced, just because his box was really beat up and a lot of staining and everything like that. And then they did have like carry cases and other accessories for like LOL surprise stuff, but this was also really beat up as well. And I think they wanted like $13 for it. And I was like, you know what, hard pass on this one. But I did get this cuckoo clock thing that I really wanted. They did have another holiday Barbie, but also was $20. And again, I felt like, I will wait for it to go to half off. But I did get the clock, and I've been wanting like a big grandfather clock, and they didn't have one, but they had a little cuckoo clock thing. I was like, this is cute. And it actually does work. The clock I ended up taking home and worked. I love my antiques. That's one thing I definitely am in love with, is antique stuff. So yeah, that was all I got from this particular Goodwill. And I went to Community Thrift, which I think in my last video I said City Thrift in my last Toy Hunt video. I'm so sorry I said it wrong, but it is Community Thrift, and they had some vintage Cabbage Patch again. So somebody must be dropping off a lot of Cabbage Patch at the store. And they did have this, which I was like, I don't know who this is. And then I had a message Claudina, and they're like, oh, Wonder Woman. And we figured it out, it's the villain from Wonder Woman. Honestly, looks really cool. But I passed because I'm not a Wonder Woman fan, but I just thought it was really interesting. They did start having Barbie extras, which I have not seen a lot of Barbie extras at thrift stores. So I guess it's been a year. I always feel like toys end up showing up at thrift stores if they're over a year old, right? Like, Lottie Da is like almost 10 years old. So for me, that's more surprising they're in a thrift store. Must have been sitting in someone's garage. But toys, I've noticed, like, if they've been out like 6 months to a year, I could see them cycle through a thrift store because I feel like kids have played with it and they want to get something new. And this particular time had a lot of bag dolls, as you'll see. There was a lot of Hair Amazing dolls, which are really cute, but for the price of the bag dolls, I feel like Hair Amazings are worth it new because they're like $5 new. So why would I buy it at a thrift store type of situation? Unless there was one that I really, really did fall in love with, which I didn't this time. I ended up passing on all the Hair Amazing dolls. They had a ton of Dreamtopia mermaids. I was like, okay. Passed on those. If they had like vintage mermaids, I probably would have went with that. They did have some older Barbies. As you can see, that one with the pink skirts and Avon doll. I think like spring something. And they had this navy Barbie with a bubble cut. I miss the bubble cut on Barbies. Like, honestly, very 90s looking. I loved it. I thought it was so cute, but she didn't have her outfit, so I passed on that. They did start having, which I noticed there is always a lot of Disney dolls at thrift stores, but I noticed there are a lot of Hasbro ones. So it'll be interesting to see the shift if, like, I'll start seeing more Hasbro Disney dolls at the thrift store now that the Mattel ones are out. I don't know. Interesting, right? They do, like I said, in general, I do find a lot of just Disney dolls at thrift stores, whether it's from the Disney store, whether it's the Hasbro ones, whether it's like a vintage one. And I think because kids get a lot of Disney dolls. I mean, even Descendants stuff now I've been noticing has been popping up because they're a few years old. And again, like I feel like kids will cycle through their toys, want to get something new, and then it ends up at the thrift store, you know, because parents are like, all right, time to clean up your room. Unless you're me, who just keeps everything, because I was that kid that had to hold on to everything. But recently I have been getting better at letting stuff go. I've been selling stuff in the auctions to buy more dolls. So, you know, it's a work in progress. Like I said, a lot of interesting stuff though. So a lot of hair amazings. I did like that leopard half-shaved Barbie, which I already have, but I thought it was cool to see her there. They did have a American Girl mini doll, Molly one, which I was like, aw, and she had her whole outfit. But I'm not super into the mini American Girl, so I left that. They did have one Rainbow High, but she was missing her arms, and I was like, oh, Emmy's really pretty, and I love her hair. But yeah, dolls that have missing limbs, I tend to leave, unless it's something super rare or something that I just need to have in my collection. But yeah, so if they're missing limbs, I tend to leave them, even though the prices are really good. Like, Community Thrift tends to bag up their dolls for about $4, which I think is a really good price. Even for nude dolls, like this Aurora, I think is stunning. It's the Disney Store one, which, in my opinion, is one of the best Aurora faces. But for $4, I feel like it's more reasonably priced compared to like $8 at OMG Thrift, or even like Goodwill now that doesn't do bags. They just do giant bins. I like the wall of bags. I think people can grab bag stuff easier versus Goodwill, where they put giant bins for like $20 and you're stuck with this whole bin of stuff you don't want. So this process, much better. I highly recommend this thrift store. They did have, like I said, a ton of dolls compared this time versus the time I went to 2 weeks ago before this video. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this is probably, I have to say, probably one of my favorite thrift stores now, just because it's affordably priced. I like a lot of the stuff that they have. Big variety of things. It's organized. I just really appreciate them having it really like streamlined, and the shopability is really good here. And I'm glad I always go through a second time, because I found like other stuff. Like, I ended up passing on it, but it was like, oh, cool to see a Cave Club doll there. Like I said, a lot of Disney stuff. Always a lot of Disney stuff. But I was like, oh, you know, so always make sure to do a couple passes at your thrift store, because you never know what's buried behind another bag that you happen to maybe overlook or pass on that you didn't notice. But yeah, like I said, there was probably about like 10 different Hair Amazing dolls here this day, so someone gave up their collection. I did see a Tinkerbell Fairy, which I'm not too much into the Tinkerbell Fairy. Like, I know they were really popular probably in the 2000s, but not for me. I ended up passing on all those. I did find, as I was digging, more La-Di-Da dolls, which ended up coming home with me, because I'm trying to do a complete like collection of them. I'm working on it, which I ended up I did film a full thrift haul video, which I'll post a couple days after this video. So make sure to, you know, if you want to see exactly what I got, I did shoot a whole haul video after this. And like, there's sometimes like this, you know, like where, yeah, I already have this OMG doll, but I really, really like her, and I wanted another one to redress. So I feel like for the price on these bags, it's affordable enough to have a second of a doll, where I don't have to buy the same doll brand new. I can just get her for, you know, a couple bucks, and then I get to redress her. So, you know, like I said, I will be doing a haul video on this particular hunt. I do have more toy hunts planned this month. And for those of you who do not follow me on Instagram, I'm still kind of recovering. I had surgery done this month, so a lot of this stuff is all pre-filmed from earlier, and I probably won't be filming anything super new for a little while. Just doing voiceovers from my bed. So make sure to check out more stuff from me in the description below as we go through the final run of this toy hunt. I did find some more animator mini dolls, which those always suck me in, but I ended up passing on Anna just because I'm not a huge Frozen fan. I think I only have like 3 animator dolls, and I'm still trying to find the little Ariel one because I have a lot of the Tangled ones. And then, obviously, like me standing here, it's always the hardest at the end of the day at the thrift store where I'm like, okay, I have a million things in this cart. I gotta leave something go. I gotta let something go, which is hard because like this bag was only 99 cents, and I'm like, I really like the Teletubbies. I think they're so weird. It's such a weird show. I'm like, do I leave this? And then I was like, oh, I've been wanting this Barbie extra, and then the Descendants doll's really cute, and yeah, like I said, I did do a thrift haul video. So if you want to see what I bought, stay tuned for that in the next couple days. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this toy hunt at the thrift stores with me. Bye!